everyone, my name is Erica and I am the founder and owner of Heymama Official. I've wanted to get real and personal with you guys for such a long time and show my face and be able to talk to you and put a face to the brand. And I feel like there's no better story to share than this one to do that, because now with everything surrounding COVID-19 and over 16 million Americans filing for unemployment, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who is in the position that I was in not even a week ago. So this is a story of how I found myself pregnant and laid off from work. There's a lot of layers to this story, and I'm a rambler, so I'm going to try my best to keep it focused on just one part. So I have a 1-year-old son named Trayson, and I found out that we were going to be having baby number 2 towards the end of 2019. And that in itself was news, of course, but a little hard to process because I'm still fairly new at being a mom, and I didn't know where the money was going to come from to take care of the second child, because we were, I don't want to say barely getting by, but we were literally doing like just enough. Just enough. So yeah, my mind was already racing with all of that. And then after New Year's, literally like the week of coming back into the office, my department got laid off. And I was absolutely terrified. For one thing, this was my first job, or not my first job, but my first like adult job, so to speak. And I had never been laid off before, and I had never been newly pregnant and laid off before. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm gonna think about literally like 2 years into the future. What does this mean? And so I started thinking like, oh my God, we're not gonna have health insurance. I'm not gonna be able to go to the doctor. Trayson's not gonna be able to go to the doctor. I'm having another baby. Where the hell am I gonna get money? And on top of that, how am I going to look for a job while pregnant, right? So that was very difficult for me to process. And as you all know, just because we're moms doesn't mean that we don't have feelings and we don't go through things. But no matter what, that baby's gonna wake up at 7:30, and we've got to put on our happy face for them and deal with it later, So for the first month or so, that's what a lot of it was. And I will say that I was blessed enough to receive a pretty good severance package to where we were okay for a certain amount of time, but also needed to find a job. And not only need to find a job, I need to find a job that's going to be more than what I was making, because 2 kids. I took the rest of that week to kind of process everything, because fresh off finding out I'm pregnant, freshly laid off of work, like what the hell, Erica, what are you about to do? And it took a minute for me to realize the positives and everything, right? So you're pregnant, okay, you have 9 months to get it together. You have 9 months, not necessarily 9, like I had more like 3 and some change with savings to find a job. To where, to get us okay. But I was really questioning what God was trying to do. I'm just like, You gave me this baby. You took away what I thought was going to be our security net. I don't understand what I'm being set up for. Had to stop thinking negatively like that, and had to start thinking like, okay, girl, you lost that job for a reason. Like, obviously, you're meant to move on to the next phase. That's number one. Number two, the baby. Yes, okay, all of this is going on, but that doesn't mean that 9 months from now you're going to be in the same position. That doesn't mean that 9 months from now this doesn't get better. That doesn't mean that 9 months from now, you're not going to be able to handle all of this. Also, losing that job, now that you need to find a job that's going to be able to pay for you and 2 kids, like, there's not going to be no awkward exit strategy, right? Like, that's a clean break. Now you can go and find a bigger next step that's going to be able to take care of you and your family. Once I started thinking with that mindset and stopped trying to be so anxious about everything, it took me 3 months to find a job. I started, immediately the next week after I got laid off, I started applying and using my network to see what was available, see what I could do. More than likely, because of my industry, I would have to relocate, which was fine with me. That was something that I wanted to do anyway. And again, in my industry, like, the jobs just aren't where I am. The jobs just aren't where I'm currently located, or at least the jobs that I'm interested in. So yeah, it took me 3 months to lock in a job, starting literally from the week after I got laid off. Non-stop interviews, non-stop calls, non-stop following up with recruiters, and feeling like I'm bugging everybody and getting on everybody's nerves. And then in the midst of all this, I remember, I think it was like late February, there was one job that I was just sure I was gonna get. I had talked to everybody on the team. I had followed up with everybody on the team. I asked really good questions. I provided great work examples. I did the assignment that they asked me to do, like all this stuff. And then there was silence. And this was the same time that there were rumors of shutdowns happening and all that because of COVID-19. Great timing, right? So I ended up finding out, because I had a friend that interned for the company, that they had already gone on hiring freezes because of the virus, and people were already starting to work from home. So that was pretty much a dead end for me, and I got really discouraged, because I'm like, okay, there's a chance that because of this virus, you're not going to get a job in the time frame that you need it. What are you going to do? And in the time that I was applying for jobs and interviewing, I was already like babysitting for extra money. I had looked into working at a daycare for extra money, because I'd be able to have my son with me, and I wouldn't have to worry about his care during the day. All that. So I had already been thinking about, okay, like, how can I pick up some little stuff to make some money in case I can't find my next job yet. But that just really sucked, honestly, because for one thing, I'm getting further along in my pregnancy, and that kind of gets harder to tell new employers that you're pregnant. And I'll get into that a little bit towards the end. I honestly think that's probably a whole separate video. But yeah, so that was on my mind, because it's like, okay, you're pregnant, you need to start working ASAP, because you don't want to come in and tell them, oh, hey, I'm pregnant and the baby's due next month, but I'm really excited to get in and get started now so I can come back. Like, no, it's not realistic. And okay, tangent, but it just really sucks that men will never understand and ever have to go through this ever in life, okay? You will never have to go through telling an employer, a new employer, that you're pregnant. You will never have to worry about navigating this exact situation as a man, and that is some BS. But anyway, luckily, I still had 2 other leads on a job, and one ended up not working out. They ended up giving the position to somebody else, but they had other positions in that department open. So, I kept applying to them and was planning on following up and saying, I understand I didn't work out for this position, but, what do you think about this? However, the other lead did end up working out, which I'm extremely grateful for. I'm extremely grateful and extremely blessed to be able to have secured a job in a time where, there's a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people. And I'm really, really happy to be at a company like this that's taking care of its employees. And as far as telling employers that you're pregnant, like I said, I can do a separate video on that, because that's honestly something that when I had my son, it was a lot different. I had been at my job for a year and a half, 2 years already. So, that's different. I'm in the flow, and it's just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm having a baby. Oh, congratulations, great. When you're not only applying to jobs while pregnant, interviewing while pregnant, and it's already a long process, and you don't know when you're gonna get that yes, you're just getting more and more pregnant every day. It gets really hard and scary to tell your future employer, like, by the way, I'm having a baby, because one, you don't know when to do it, because you don't know when to do it. But I will say these key things. One, there is a law against pregnancy discrimination, and technically you don't have to tell them a damn thing. You could go into labor at 9 months and have not told them. You're not legally obligated to. Two, if you tell them during the interview process and you don't get the job, you could probably sue. So just know that, no company is going to be stupid per se. Yes, a manager ideally would want somebody who's going to come in and be able to do the work, but a really good analogy that somebody told me is just like, if you started the job and then 3 months in you broke your leg and you're not able to come in and do your job anymore. It's not the same thing, but it's yours is just a little pre-planned. Like, they can plan for you to be out of office. They can't plan for you to break your leg. I feel like I'm not explaining that analogy very well, but I hope you get it. Not every company is the same. Not every manager is going to be the same. But if that's something you would be interested in me talking about, I'd love to do another one of these sit-down things and talk about that experience, because I was very scared to do it. But when I finally told them, I got support and congratulations, and it was not as scary as I made it out to be. It was literally like, just so you're aware, I'm pregnant. They're like, oh my God, awesome. Well, let's get you in and get you started, and when you come back, you'll just be doing the job as a mom. And I'm just like, all right. Like I said, I know that I am very lucky. I'm very blessed in the midst of all that's going on to have been able to lock in a job after all that. And I know that for other people, it's going to take a little bit longer, especially right now. But there are companies out there that are doing great things. There are companies out there that are hiring you to work from home. And at the end of the day, I feel like as moms, we know that we're going to do what's necessary to make sure that our children are covered. So if you do find yourself in this position, just operate based off that fact and leave no stone unturned when it comes to opportunities. There's no rhyme or reason when things go wrong and throw us off track and we feel like the world is ending. But it doesn't stay that way forever. It never stays that way forever. So just for the sake of your mental health, for the sake of you being able to be there for your kids, try your best. And I know it's hard. I was going through the first trimester, hormones and depression, on top of the I just lost my job depression, on top of some other stuff depression, and it was a really rough 2 months for me on this very couch. just laying here. So saying all that to say, it does get better. You just can't kind of sulk in it, because that's not gonna make it better. The only thing that's gonna make it better is you getting active, and making sure that you're doing what you can for your family. Nobody's expecting you to go get some 7-figure job right now. But just do what you can. And if you have any questions, I am an open book. I'm happy to talk about my situation. I'm happy to talk about what helped me. I'm happy to talk about the resources I used, all that. And yeah, I know I rambled. I really hope that this video was helpful to somebody out there. If you made it through this whole thing, I really do appreciate you for watching. Please share it to somebody who may need it. You never know who may need, like, literally just knowing that you're not the only one. Sometimes just knowing somebody went through what you're going through is enough. Like, to hear somebody either still getting through it or have gotten through it, sometimes that's all the encouragement somebody needs. Like, just knowing, like, okay, I'm not alone, and if they're getting through it, I can get through it too. I scoured the internet and could not find anything from my exact situation, and that's really why I wanted to get on here and tell this story. So like I said, if anybody out there is in this exact position, hopefully this reaches you, hopefully it touches you, hopefully it helps you. If there's anything else you'd like to see discussed on Heymama, please leave a comment, let me know. I'd love to get on here and talk some more with you guys, or honestly get more moms involved and have them tell and share their stories of stuff that they've gone through. So with that, I will leave you guys, and thank you so much for watching.